All right. Hey, everybody, this is Andy. Today I'm going to walk you through all the steps that you need to take in order to set up a cron job or something like a cron job inside of AWS EC2. So here I am in AWS. I have EC2 right here. If you don't have it or don't see it, just click on Services. It's under Compute. So I'm going to click on EC2 and I'm going to launch a new instance. In our case, it's going to be a Python instance. You can see there are a bunch of other runtimes that we would be able to run here. I'm going to search for Python, select that. In our case, we can do a micro instance. We don't need that much memory. We're probably just going to do a hello world example. If you were doing something like a cron job that's chronically checking the database, and it's a big query or something, or maybe some machine learning, you probably want more space. So keep that in mind. In our case, micro is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and set up this key pair that's just a security group. We'll call it example, and we'll download that. So that's going to our downloads folder, which we'll need soon. So don't forget about that. Launch the instance, and so it says our instance is now launching. We can go here and view all of the instances that we have. So we can see here it's initializing, pending. I'm going to go ahead and give it a name, example, so we don't forget about it. And while it's initializing, I'm just going to pause this video, and then I'll start it back up once it's done initializing. All right, so we're back. We have the example here. I'm going to select that. You can see it's initialized now and running. So now I'm going to click connect, and I want to tunnel into my instance via SSH. So I'm going to keep that selected, and then it just gives me the instructions here. It's telling me I need to go to that example.pem file, run change mod on it, so that I can give myself access, and then I'm just going to tunnel into it. So let's follow these instructions here. I'm going to pull up my terminal here, make this just a little bit smaller. All right, so here I'm in my terminal. I know my example.pem file is in my downloads folder, so I'm just going to cd into downloads. And so if I did not run my change mod on the example.pem, then I'll show you what happens, because this is, I think, a common mistake that people make. So let's say I just go straight to the last step. I'm just going to SSH straight into here. It says, well, connection can't be established. You want to try connecting again? And I say yes. And it says, well, we're not going to let you. So we're going to run change mod. I'm still in my downloads folder, so I'm going to do chmod 400. And my pem file is example.pem here in my downloads folder. So I'm going to do example.pem. And so nothing happened, we're good. And now I can SSH into here, and it says, all right, sweet, you're in. Let's see, okay, this is showing me some commands from last time that I was in. So don't worry about any of that, but it's telling me that I have now connected through the tunnel to this server, the EC2 server. So here we are. If I look at what's inside of here, there's nothing. That's because it drops me in the place where I'm probably going to be doing things. So I'm going to go back to the top directory, and we can see, we can see what's in here. So we got a bunch of stuff that's built in with it, comes in the box. We're going to go back into our home folder, and what's here is EC2 user, so that's fine. I'm gonna cd into that one as well, EC2 user, and so now we're back where we started. There's nothing here. I'm just gonna make a directory, or actually before we do that, I want to make sure that I have everything updated. I want to be able to pip install packages, the Python installation package, and I want to be able to run Python. So let's make sure that I can do that. So first, I'm just going to run sudo yum install Python, and we'll do version 3.6. So let that run. Yes. Okay, and now we need to set up our Python installation package so that we can download other libraries. So let me just, I'm going to say Python 3 get pip.py, and we need to make sure that we add user permission. Python 3. Oh, okay. So first of all, we need to tell it where to find this file. So this file, it's just a CURL. I've done this so many times. So we're gonna curl into HTTPS, and it's bootstrap.pypa.io/getpip.py. Okay, so now it at least knows where to find that getpip.py file, and so now we can tell it Python 3, go ahead and get that, and it'll download. Okay, so now, for example, if I want to install pandas, then it'll let me do that. Or actually, I probably need to add user permission. Yep. So pip install pandas user. Okay, so now we know that we can install packages. A common thing that I've done with EC2 here in the CLI is I've done a lot of cron jobs that check queries against the database. And so if you're looking into doing that, the packages that I have really liked are MySQL, and then MySQL dash connector. It looks like MySQL dash connector. Those ones are both really easy to use, really easy to work with. So those are the ones I recommend. But we're like I said, we're just doing the hello world. So let's make a directory, make a new directory, and we'll just call this folder. So now we're here. We've already told it where to find our get pip, so here it is. And we have this folder called folder. So let's change the directory into the folder. We go in here, there's nothing there. There's a few IDEs. This is a Googleable thing, so a few IDEs that you can use in the CLI. My favorite one, really easy to use, is called Nano. I know there are others, but just feel free to look those up. So I'm going to nano into, and we'll call this file, we'll call it hello example.py. So now here I am in this IDE called Nano, and I'm just going to do, so let's see, I'm going to import time for this example. I mentioned we want to do something like a cron job, so this is how we're going to do it. We're going to import time. Next line, let's make a function. So we'll call this say hello. And in this function, we're just going to say hello. Hello world. Oh. Okay, so that's our simple function, say hello. And because we want to run this on a timer, let's put this, we'll put it in a while loop. So while name is equal to main. So while we are in the main namespace, we're going to try our function, say hello, and if for whatever reason, this one's not going to error out, but if we did have something more complex that maybe is checking something in the database and it gets something that's like it's expecting a string but it's not a string, like a type error, I don't know, so anything could happen. So we're just going to put an exception in here. If it does fail, then let's do time.sleep. Let's wait 3 seconds, and then we'll just check again. Let's try saying hello again. So now we're saying if so while we're in the namespace, try this function, say hello. If it fails, then wait for 3 seconds, try it again. And then after all that, whether it fails or not, then time.sleep for 3 seconds. So we just created a function, says hello world. We're telling it to repeat that function every 3 seconds because this is never going to change. So let's go ahead and save this. So to save, in here you can see the commands down here. Exit is Control X. So we just did Control X and it says, are you sure that you want to do this? I say yes. And it says, just want to make sure this is the name of the file that you want to write it to, hello example.py. And I say yes, enter. So now inside of my folder, if I want to look at everything in here, I have hello example.py. So let's go ahead and run that, just make sure it works. I'm going to make sure that that works. Okay, so hello world, wait 3 seconds, and hello world again. Okay, so now it's going to keep going. So Control C, I'm just going to interrupt that. If I wanted to run that and then start doing other things while that's running, a common way that people do that is I would say Python 3 hello world, or I'm sorry, hello example.py, and then at the end I would say and so what this would do is it would run it, and then I can start typing other things and it will continue to run no matter what I do. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do a command called nohup. So I'm going to do nohup, and nohup is no hang up. In other words, I could exit out of this, like sever my connection from their server, the EC2 server, and do other things. I could close my computer, and it'll still be running on the server. I could check tomorrow, check in a week, and it'll still be running every 3 seconds saying hello world. So I'm going to say nohup Python 3, no hang up Python 3, hello example.py. So here, if I did not specify where I want to put the log, it would create a file called nohup.txt. Instead, I just want to say, I'm going to call it log.txt. So I'm saying run this file and put all of the logs inside of this text file called log.txt. So let's run that. So now it's saying it worked, ignoring the input, and we're just going to be doing this. So now I can do other things. Let's check what's going on in here. Okay, so now I have, like I said, that file that I made. Otherwise it would be nohup.txt. So it's running hello example.py, putting the logs into log.txt. So that's everything. If I want to get out of here, I can just exit out. If I want to get back in, so now you see I'm back on my local host. If I want to get back in, I would just SSH back into the EC2 server, and I'd be back. I don't need to run another change mod. So that is how you run a cron job, or at least something that accomplishes the same thing as a cron job inside of AWS EC2.